Hi everyone, welcome back to the 86 F's to Give podcast. I'm your host Al, and I am so happy that you are here with me today for episode 14. You may be a little confused by the title of this podcast, but basically tomorrow, if you're listening to this on the day that it comes out, is my birthday, my 26th birthday. So in this week's episode, we are 86ing 25-year-old Al and basically going to be talking about, reflecting on my 25th year of life and also talking about things I want to take with me into 26 and things I want to leave in 25-year-old me. Basically my ins and outs for my 26th year of life. Yeah, I've just kind of been thinking about how cool it's going to be to look back on these episodes in years to come and just see what was 25-year-old me working on, or what was 26-year-old me stressed about, and just kind of be able to have these as like a digital journal. And that is something that means a lot to me. I love taking pictures. I love videos. I love having things to look back on. I'm just sentimental in that way. So I think it'll be really cool to have this episode for me to look back on, and hopefully I'll do it again each birthday that comes and kind of have, different checkpoints and things to reflect on. So I'm really excited to kind of dive into this episode today. I first want to kind of reflect and talk about some highlights and accomplishments of my 25th year of life. I think it was honestly the best year of my life for so many reasons, and so many things happened, a lot of change, good change and bad change, but change is really, really important for growth. And I'm trying to reframe my mindset around change and welcome it, because if we stay the same, then what's the fun? We got to change and grow and evolve. So lots of change happened and really awesome things, many accomplishments. I got to do really cool things this year. So I just want to talk about that. And then I'll probably dive into some ins and outs for my 26th year of life. So I also am totally aware that this might not be interesting to literally anyone, but like I said in the beginning, it's more of a reflection point for me for years to come. So hopefully you get a little something out of this. If not, that is also totally fine. I will be back next week with a regular thing that we're 86ing that has nothing to do with me. Well, it is still probably something I'm working on, but not so much just about my life, okay? So if that's more up your alley, feel free to skip this week. But without further ado, I am going to dive into reflecting on year 25 of my life. I would say year 25-year-old me kind of had a breakthrough. It felt like a breakthrough year for me in just becoming the person that I want to be and the person that I'm most proud of. And, I made a really big deal about it being my golden birthday because I turned 25 on the 25th. And it really did feel like that. It just felt like, obviously there was tons of ups and downs, but it just really felt like for the most part, I was in a really, really good space mentally, physically. There was just, like I said, so many highlights and accomplishments that I want to touch on. So I have a little list over here. So if I'm looking off to the screen, don't mind me. First, how can I not first talk about starting this podcast? That was the biggest accomplishment for my personal creativity journey. As you guys know, I've been wanting to start this specific podcast for years now, and the fact that we're on episode 14 is just insane. So that's obviously really cool, and I'm so proud of myself and so grateful to everyone that supported me in starting this podcast, because it truly is probably the highlight of 25 for sure. Another thing, I want to talk about a few work-related things. First, I got a promotion. That was really cool over the summer. It was because my coworker left and I took his place, but they didn't have to offer it to me. They could have made people interview for that position, or made me interview for it, and they really just offered it to me and said it was mine if I wanted it, and that was really, really amazing. And I just feel like if this had happened a year ago, that would not have been the case, and I feel like I put in a lot of work the last year of my job to be ready for something like that to happen and for them to be able to trust me to take over that position. So that was really exciting. I also got the Athletic Service Award at our athletics banquet, and that was a complete surprise. It was just really, really, really awesome to be recognized in front of the entire athletic department and all the student athletes. It was a really cool moment. And then another thing at work is that I got to plan and execute my first ever charity event. We did a faculty and staff basketball game to raise money for the Special Olympics that we volunteer with and work with throughout the years. That was just really, really awesome, and it went perfectly. I could not have asked for a better event for my first like event that I've ever ran. And everyone was so supportive. So we raised like over $750, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Like it was just a really awesome experience, and I'm so excited to do that again this year. And then one last thing at work, this is like superficial, but I did have my first post hit 1 million views, and it was like the silliest video, and I don't know why it hit the algorithm on Instagram that it did, but it literally got 1 million views, and that was just like a cool accomplishment for me, because it's just fun, the things that you like think are, it's silly to think about the things that you like work so hard on, and it gets like 200 likes, and then like the one little video you take on your phone and like barely edit and just post, it gets 1 million views. It's like, it's just funny. But it was really cool to have that moment, even though the girls that are in the video probably hate me for it, but it was just a cool accomplishment to, you know, have another viral video. And then some more personal things. I got to travel to California for the first time to visit my best friend Maddie, who moved out there earlier this year. California has always been on my list, and I got to go to San Diego, and that was just like, it's absolutely stunning there. Like it truly looks like a movie, and I could not stop saying that the whole time. And I was just really happy to be able to make it out there, and I'm going again in February, so that'll be really fun. Another thing is that I kind of reclaimed my relationship with running, and that was a really big goal of mine this summer, to kind of take back my perspective on running. You know, as a college athlete, it was a lot of running for punishment or sprinting a mile as fast as you can because it's being timed and you're getting points on a conditioning test for how fast you run. And, you know, obviously I played lacrosse, so that was a lot of sprinting and stopping and starting. And I, before the summer, had never ran more than 2 miles on my own out in the world. Probably definitely in a lacrosse game, but not like going on a long distance run, like having to lock in and just run for like an hour straight. And I finally did that this summer. I, you know, leaned on people that I had in my life, Marina, Carly, people to run with me. I've been running with my old roommate Liv as well. And so that has just been really nice to have people to run with. But now I'm able to kind of do long distance runs on my own. The farthest I've ran is 6 miles, which is absolutely insane. I can't believe I said that. And then my friend Ariana and I are running the Rocky Run in November. So that is a 10-mile run. So we are trying to do 8 this weekend to see if we can, you know, get to 10, which I'm sure we will be able to push each other. But it's just been really cool to kind of retrain my brain on slowing down and just enjoying the process, and it's actually been so fun. I like want to go on runs now, and I really enjoy them. Some are harder than others, but most of the time I'm just like, yes, let's go on a freaking run. Like it's just been really cool. I got Hoka's. That was a fun experience. So yeah, that has just been like a big turning point in my exercise journey as well this year, is just taking back what running meant to me. Because before really college, I loved running. I would go on runs like in my neighborhood all the time, and during COVID, Marina and I would run all the time. But again, we were like full-blown sprinting 2 miles, and then that was it. Like it's been really cool, and now she's training for a marathon, so it's just been really cool for both of us to kind of slow down, enjoy the process, and just slowing down in general is always a goal of mine. So that has really helped me do that in other areas of my life as well. So loving that I have taken back running and kind of incorporated into my daily life these days. Another thing was seeing Billie Eilish live for the second time. That was earlier this month. That was like, I was sobbing the whole time. It was so much fun. She is absolutely incredible. And I got to see her with one of my closest friends, Eliza, and that was just like such a cool experience. We both have seen her separately on our own, and we bond over her. So just seeing her together live for our second time was just so magical. And again, I was literally sobbing. Like every single time a song started, I would sob until like the first chorus, then I'd pull myself together. The next song starts, I'm back in tears. Like I just could not get it together. It was just so cool to see her do her thing. And yeah, she's just like the most talented in the world. Another thing is that I started posting on TikTok a little bit more, which has also been a really big goal of mine. I've done a couple series on TikTok of, 25 days of being a 25-year-old working in sports. I'm doing my last 25 days of being 25 on TikTok. I've probably done like 10 of the 25 days because I've been slacking, but it's just been cool to share things online. I posted a few reels on Instagram that just normally, you know, in years past, I'd be scared to post. So I'm proud of that. And that's definitely something I want to continue into year 26. And then some other work things that are not Arcadia related, like my full-time job, just some kind of one-off things I got to do in the summer, was working for the NCAA again at the men's lacrosse championship that that was hosted at the Link, where the Eagles play at the Link, where the Eagles play. And that was my second time doing that. And I get to like run all of the NCAA Division III social media accounts. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and, you know, cover the entire championship games. And I also got to do the semifinals this year, which I didn't do last year. So that has just been a really cool experience. And I got to meet a lot of people that work for the NCAA. So yeah, it's just been nice to have those connections, and maybe they'll come in handy in the future when I want to branch out into other areas of the athletics world. And so that was just really fun. And obviously I loved working the lacrosse game specifically because lacrosse is just amazing. And that leads me into one of the coolest things I have ever done for work. Like, I would have done this for free, but the fact that I got paid to do this is just insane. I got to work for Athletes Unlimited professional lacrosse over the summer, like 5 or 6 games, or days. They do two games a day. So like, it was just the most insane experience. And for people that don't really follow women's lacrosse or lacrosse at all, you might not know what Athletes Unlimited is, but it's like the first real professional women's lacrosse league. Besides, like, there's a USA team, but there isn't like a league like the PLL is for men's lacrosse. So this was the first women's lacrosse professional league, and it's really cool how they do it. It's like different teams each week, and there's a leaderboard, and you get points for kind of like everything you do, and it's just really, really cool how they do it. And it's all about empowering every athlete to be the best athlete they can be, and there's opportunities for everyone to be really successful. So I've been watching this league since it started a couple years ago, and I have just, you know, dreamed. I've looked at their career websites and I've dreamed of working for them, and this opportunity kind of just fell in my lap from one of my coworkers sending me an email with like people reaching out asking for help covering a few of the games, and he literally just saw women's lacrosse and forwarded to me and had no idea that I was like obsessed with this league and these people that play in it. It's like all of my favorite lacrosse players. So as soon as I got the email, I immediately was like, yes, please, I will work these games. So I got to do that in the summer. I was stage managing for them. So basically I was like the headset on the field up, like communicating up to the booth, like for the guys up there, telling them, okay, we're ready for the post-game interview with Charlotte North. Like literally those words came out of my mouth. And like, I talked to Charlotte North, talked to Ali Mastriani. I talked to like so many famous lacrosse players that I've like freaked out over. Yeah, just like so many. Sam Apuzzo, like it's insane. And I literally would have to go up to them and be like, hey, Charlotte, can we steal you for a post-game interview? Like, I wanted to like scream inside, but I had to be so chill. So that was just like a huge accomplishment in my like career. And I made more connections with those people. And some of the people I worked with have like, you know, I've spoken to since then, and they've really been in my corner and just really made me feel like a really valued member of the team, even though I was only there for a few games. So I'm really happy to have those relationships as well. Yeah, one last work thing. I'm sorry, that kind of spaced it out on my list, so they're all over the place, but one last work thing that I do want to mention that I only told like a handful of people is that earlier this year, kind of like towards the end of last school year, summer starting, I did have a couple of rounds of interviews with a professional sports team. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say what team because I'm embarrassed because they're a rival of Philly teams. But I obviously didn't get the job, or you would know, but I don't care because it was like the most incredible experience. I learned so much. I am just like, I've made, again, connections with the people that I interviewed with. There was people that were helping, like reaching out on my behalf, that I now have them in my corner. And yeah, I got to experience those types of interviews. So now if I ever have the opportunity to interview with a professional sports team again, I will know what to expect a little bit more. And yeah, it was just like all around a win. And honestly, I don't think I would have been ready to move and do all of that at the time that it was happening. So it all really worked out for the best, but it was just still such an insane experience, and I'm really grateful I got to go through that. So I wanted to mention that as well in today's episode. I think those are all the work things. Yeah. And then I also hit my 1 year mark of having Puda. So in May, which is like halfway through me being 25, I hit my 1 year mark of having Puda. I got him when I was 24, but again, the year mark was during my 25th year of life. And that was just really cool to reflect on having him for a year and the growth that we made in the relationship that we've had and just how much he has helped shape who I am in this 25th year. He truly is just the best. And I have learned so much about patience, and it's really the perfect example of you get out of it what you put into it. So like the more time I spend walking him and getting his energy out and training him is like the better dog he will be for me, and he'll trust me more. And that has really been like the goal of my relationship with him over the past few the year, and well, it's more like a year and a few months now. So it's just been really cool to have him, and hitting that 1 year mark was just like a really awesome checkpoint and reflection point for me. Another thing I did was in my 25th year of life was start therapy again, and also stop therapy. I just stopped because I was like sick. I literally had the flu and couldn't keep going at one point, and then I just never like signed back up, and it's been like 8 months. So I did want to mention it because I went to therapy as a kid and haven't gone back since I was like in 5th grade, maybe, or 6th grade. So it was cool to kind of get back into, asking for help, getting mental health care. And it was awesome. She taught me so many little key things to just kind of shift my way of thinking. And also just having someone that's completely outside of your life, that doesn't know your friends, doesn't know me really that well, and just like is so unrelated to everything that you're talking about is really nice. And so she would ask questions like, oh, well, why does this person make you feel that way? And I'm like, well, I guess I don't really need to let them make me feel that way. Like, it's just like, it was cool to have somebody that didn't understand any of the situations I would bring to her. And so yeah, it really put a whole new perspective on the way that I think, and that was really awesome. And I definitely want to get back into therapy at some point this year. And then, yeah, overall, I just feel like it was a huge personal growth year for me. I really got to understand goal setting and the things that work for me when I'm setting goals, and as well as my growth opportunities with goal setting. I also feel like I got better at standing up for myself in relationships, at work, in friendships, with family members. And that's really huge for me because I feel like I've always just been a people pleaser and not wanted to cause any confrontation. But realizing that standing up for yourself is not confrontation, it's like what you should be doing. It's your right to defend yourself. Yeah, I mean, clearly there was a lot of good that happened in my 25th year, but I also just want to mention there was plenty of times where I was like sad, couldn't get out of bed. The beginning of 2024, I was concussed. I had like 2 concussions within a month. Well, probably like 1 concussion that just got worse when I hit my head again. And then I had the flu. I got my flu shot and my COVID shot on top of having the flu. So like January, February, I was just out for the count. Like that was probably the worst couple months of my 25th year of life. So I was just down bad physically, down bad mentally. And then I really had to work hard in the summer to kind of like rebuild my strength, both physically and mentally. And I feel like I really was able to do that. And so, no, it was not all rainbows and sunshines. Obviously, I'm not going to come on here and talk about all the hard things that I went through. Just a reminder that I'm talking about all the positives. There were still plenty of things that I went through that were really hard and challenging. There was a lot of change in the last few months that was pretty much out of my control. And that's really tough for a lot of people. I wouldn't say I'm like a control freak, but I just like to kind of be in control, at least of my own actions in my own life. And when other people make decisions that are best for them, and that's totally fine, but it also still affects me. It's hard sometimes, and it's okay to, you're not mad at them. You don't hate them as a person. You don't think they're a bad person, but it's still challenging, and it's okay to feel both of those feelings. It's okay to love someone and still be like disappointed in how things are going. So, and that can happen in friendships, relationships, family ships, all the things. I'm not talking about anyone in specific, okay? And so, yeah, I wanted to kind of end this episode by talking about a few outs for my 26th year of life / things I'm leaving in 25, and then a few ins / things I'm bringing with me from 25 to 26. Okay, so bear with me here. We're going to do the outs first because I want to end on a positive note. First out is giving people second and third chances. I really, really, really want to hone in on, once people show me who they are the first time, I need to just believe them and remind myself that it's going to be way easier to walk away now in the beginning, or like, when you first realize that maybe this person isn't who I thought they are, or they're just not somebody that I really want in my life. Walking away then, when you first realize it, is going to be way easier than walking away a year and a half into a friendship, a year and a half into a relationship, or 2 years or 3 years, whatever it may be. Yeah, it may suck at the time, but just remembering that it's going to be way easier if you do it the first time. So that is something that I want to really, really work on. And I'm not giving people third, fourth, fifth chances anymore. Okay. And which obviously that goes back to the people pleasing aspect. And I'm going to do a whole episode on 86ing people pleasing because a lot of people have requested it. So if that's something you're interested, stay tuned. Maybe we'll do that next week. But yeah, that's something I want to leave in 25. And obviously it'll be a journey. I'm sure I will still have a hard time not giving people second and third and fourth chances, but it's something that I'm at least going to be aware of and making a conscious decision of if I want to, potentially hurt myself worse down the line. And then the second thing I'm leaving in 25 is my lack of discipline. So I go in and out with being really disciplined on my goals, and then I will slip up once and then it's game over. And that is what I want to leave in the past. I need to understand that if I am slipping up once, because we're humans and that happens and we have bad days or we physically can't do something, that does not mean that I need to just stop doing my goal for the rest of the week or the rest of the month or whatever. That should be motivation to just hop back on track and continue working towards whatever goal I set for myself. And so that is something I really, really, really want to figure out where that even stems from, of me not being able to be consistent for more than 3 months at a time, because it's really frustrating. Obviously you guys, that if you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw I was running every day in the summer, and then the second I went back to work and things got a little hectic, I was struggling with it. And I need to be better with kind of figuring out balance and the routine and the schedule that works best for me, and sticking to it, because I just don't like the feeling that I feel when I ruin or I mess up on my goals, which again, I need to use different words and reframe that for myself. But yeah, I'm rambling, but you guys know what I mean. I really want to adopt the discipline over motivation mindset and just be okay, I have no motivation, but I'm disciplined enough and committed to the goals and myself enough that I'm going to still go on my run, or at least go on a walk, or go outside, And then the last thing that is an out for this year of life is stressing over things that I cannot control. So like I mentioned a little bit ago, there was a lot of change that happened in the past few months that were just out of my control. And I was allowing it to make me feel really anxious, really stressed, almost a little angry. And those are all feelings that I just don't want to feel on a daily basis. So I want to be better at letting go of the things I cannot control and just focusing on the things that I do have and that I'm grateful for and that I can control. And then my things I want to bring with me from 25 to 26 are the goal setting techniques that I kind of figured out. If you listen to episode 2, I think it was, talking about goal setting, I talked about how this was the first time I did the quarterly breakdown of my goals. I really liked that method, and I feel it took until quarter 3, quarter 4 to really figure out what worked best for me. So I definitely want to take that into my next year of life with me and into 2025, of course. So that is definitely something I'm going to continue doing. Another thing that I feel I really honed in on and kind of understood what I even meant by this was giving myself grace this year. And I want to definitely carry that over into my 26th year of life. I am somebody that always gives other people grace and the benefit of the doubt, and I want to just be a little less mean to myself sometimes and give myself grace and, allow myself to feel what I'm feeling and, not put pressure on myself to get over something so fast or not feel how I'm feeling, basically. So that is definitely something I want to continue working on and doing in this next time period, this next year of life. I've said that a million times, but and then my last thing that I want to bring with me into 26 is the feeling of taking up space and realizing that that is a good thing and that is something I'm allowed to do. I should do. I should be taking up space. I should be confident in being my authentic self. And I feel sometimes there's a little bit of a negative connotation when people are confident online or confident in public, that they are cocky. I can tell the difference between confident and cocky, and I get in my head about if other people can or not, and I don't want to come across as cocky ever. But I've worked so hard on the person that I am today, and I'm so proud of Al me, and I want to be that confident version of myself because I am a confident person, but I just get nervous sometimes that like it's coming across the wrong way. And I want to just remind myself that I'm allowed to take up space. I'm allowed to be confident. I'm allowed to be in whatever room I'm in, and I deserve to be there, and I deserve to feel those things. And obviously being mindful that it's not in a cocky manner. I don't think so. Feel free to call me out if I am, but I try not to be. I just want to be like, I feel like I'm most comfortable when I'm confident because I'm not anxious and I'm not like freaking out in my head. So that's kind of what it is for me. Like, I'm just trying to be not anxious, and I have to kind of like, even if I'm faking it till I make it, which I've talked about a bunch on here, like even if I'm faking that confidence, like I'd rather fake confidence than let the anxiety take over. And that's really what I want to exude in this next year of life, is just like my confidence, whether if I'm faking it or not, over my anxiety. Like, I want to channel the confident side of me over the anxious side of me. And I hope that doesn't come across as like a cocky, think she's the best kind of way, even though I am the best. Okay. But you guys know what I mean. And hopefully that comes across in a way that doesn't deter people from wanting to be around me or be my friend, or like people in general that are confident. It doesn't even have to be related to me. Like, I think we should all kind of gravitate towards people that are confident, because then that'll rub off on us. And like, that's the kind of people I want to be around, is confident people. So I'm trying to be a version of a person that I would want to be around for other people. So basically all that to say, I'm going to continue to take up space, and I am really going to hone in on that this year as well. So I think that is all of my little reflections, my ins and outs. Happy birthday to me. I am so proud of 26-year-old me, 25-year-old me. Yeah, I'm really proud of the work I've done to be the version of myself that I am today. And obviously I am so grateful to everyone that has been here along the way, especially my parents and my sibling and my friends, my core group of friends and my coworkers. I'm just really grateful to be surrounded by just like really, really awesome people all the time. And so that makes it really easy to be a good person when you have good people around you. So that is all for my reflection on my 25th year of life and what I'm going to bring into 26 with me. I hope you all enjoyed. Again, if this wasn't your cup of tea, no worries. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming next week. So yeah, thank you for tuning in for another episode of 86 F's to Give. Remember to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram. Everything is linked below. Feel free to comment what you're reflecting on for your next birthday. I would love to hear. And yeah, thank you guys so much. If no one's told you recently, I love you. I'm proud of you, and you're kicking life's booty. Okay? Keep up the amazing work, and I will see you guys next week. Love you guys. Bye.